welcome to today's meetup, number 50, but it's actually, we had more because we had this special naming schema. Anyone remembers this event? Who was at this event? Yeah, faces are changing. It was 2000, who knows? Yeah, did you say?
Actually, I met one of the people, so I know.
Okay, you know, but okay, this is basically a JetBrains license from the Rafa. So that was me in the break, then I sent one to you. So it was in November 2017, 16th November. And it was at Tritec, a company that doesn't exist anymore. So we outlive companies meanwhile, which is awesome. Makes me also feel a little bit old, but that's how it is, yeah. So the sponsor of today's evening is SyncCell, and we have the people here. Behind you have Anastasia and Julia, and here we have Sebastian. If you want to know anything about SyncCell, they made it possible that we are here at FooCafe, and I give now to Sebastian to present a little bit the company.
Thank you. Thank you, Harald. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming to this meetup. So I'll make this really short. Where do I start this? Here. Okay, just a few words about SyncCell. You might know us already. We sponsor a lot of the conferences. So the company has existed for 20 years. We are a relatively successful, very successful software company from Germany. And are now an international company. We have a lot of users around the whole world. You see users are growing. I will show you what we do. So in a nutshell, what SyncCell is doing, SyncCell has become the leading extension to the Office platform. So whenever anybody in the large consultant companies or on the management level of a large Fortune 500 companies, whenever they create presentations, which for better or worse is their main communication medium very often, they will create those presentations with the help of our software. They will, for example, create all their charts with our software and more. And so why is that interesting? Well, it turns out that this is pretty hard and pretty challenging if you do this well. So one thing that SyncCell does is that we have a lot of data visualization tools that PowerPoint doesn't have. So you see charts that PowerPoint doesn't support, like we render those beautiful project diagrams, or we have maybe column charts with a lot of little tiny features, like you see those breaks here, that people use, people need, and people used to do this by hand. So they had maybe PowerPoint graphics offices around the world, and they would then sit, this highly paid consultant would sit on his oil platform and sketch this chart and fax it over to somewhere in the back office. And then they would create those charts with those wiggly lines and would calculate how high the chart has to be now, since I've taken out a bit of the value range, etc. So this was a surprising amount of manual labor that people put into creating nice presentations that are optimized for like efficient visualization of data, for readability, etc. So that's, I think, a pretty nice product. And the challenge is that we are doing all this inside PowerPoint. So we are creating all these charts not as images like other add-ins, but we're using the PowerPoint API to create all of this out of PowerPoint objects. There is a public API you can use from C++, so that people that don't have our software still have a somewhat usable presentation. And now one of the challenges is that we want to do this with a nice user interface, of course. I think I have like a very short video that shows you how we integrate into PowerPoint. And the thing you see here is we are rendering our own user interface in PowerPoint. You see, it's flickering because we're entering data in Excel. We are rendering our own user interface here. And that already shows that we are hacking PowerPoint a little bit. So we're doing far more than add-ins usually can. We achieve a level of integration by reverse engineering that no competitor can match. That is pretty fun. Also makes for a very good product. So we have a team of dedicated reverse engineers, 4 of them. It's not actually that much work, to do things for us that the PowerPoint API doesn't supply. For example, here rendering inside PowerPoint. And on top of that integration, on top of the powerful API that PowerPoint already has, we like to do challenging things. So for example, let me go further here. We have algorithms that solve labeling problems, for example. So here, labeling such a point cloud is actually an NP-hard problem to do this intersection-free. And so we had to come up with algorithms to do this, right? People used to do this by hand. And now you had to come up with an algorithm for an NP-hard problem that is fast enough and better than humans who did it. So good enough so that people would say, yeah, I can't do this much better. So that's like the algorithmic challenges we like to solve. And by now, we've gone further, so the product has become pretty big. Currently, we're working on an indexing tool, so maybe a consultant company would have terabytes of old presentations. That's their main product. They want to make that searchable. They want to index that so that they can show maybe new colleagues how it's done, so that they can find what they told Ericsson already over the last 20 years. So we are writing a peer-to-peer indexing tool where every user is indexing the files that he has access to so that people don't need to set up a central server, for example, like our competitors do. So there's a lot of different things that we do to make it easier, essentially, to visualize and present information. So it's a classic desktop tool that has become pretty rare, I think, in software development, that people actually write end-user desktop software. We still do that, and we're always looking for new colleagues. The software is very successful, and people like it. I think that's very nice. A nice feature of working at ThinkCells, that your users actually like your product and they tell you so. That's why I like it. If you have any more questions, then you can ask during the pizza break or later. Thank you. No, you had something to say. Yeah, you wanted to.
Yeah, a little bit extra. So thanks. You can ask questions in the pizza break. Just the usual C++ news, that you also know what's going on. We have now officially the standards released. This happened in the last weeks, which is awesome. These are we don't see it.
It was mirroring a second ago. Because I'm still presenting in PowerPoint.
PowerPoint is taking over the world.
It's PowerPoint.
Okay, yes, so this is what I wanted to show. We have now the document papers, and these are the numbers. So these are which you can buy on the ESA site, but now it's official. Some companies require this. If you want to have the latest draft on which these documents are based, you can download them under these links that I have here. This is the same document, maybe some typos or punctuation or formatting stuff. But basically, this is what the documents are based on. So it took us 1.5 years or so to get it through ISO. Apropos ISO, this week is the meeting in Poland, and we have at least 2 people there, which is awesome that Sweden is that active. And I hope to some positive outcome, especially for the F-strings and maybe some attached stuff. What are we doing here in Sweden? So the process of adapting these papers that they become national documents, this is in process. We still have the monthly meetings for Agile 09, so the Swedish group. And then we still have the paper clubs, which I say is open, everyone can join if wanted. So last time we talked about the string interpolation, so Bengt tested the presentation is going to give this week. And next time probably we do trip report, but we will see. We will agree on the topic in the Slack channel. And for Sweden CPP, you can already book the date for 16th January, which we will have our traditional year open event. That's awesome. And then I'm in the process for the second event already to get the date. We need to sync this with the sport vacation from schools. Otherwise, it would be end of February, but we will see. which date works best for everyone. And that said, the usual call for papers, because we can only have as many events as we have presentations. And I plan long ahead, so the second half for February is open and thereafter. So it's enough time to, if you have an idea for something and you need help, talk with me and we can do something that you get something, or maybe you have already something ready, then let's find the next possible date for you. Because you know how it is, everybody wants to have these nice evenings, but this also needs a little bit participations, and it's very, very good here in Stockholm. We have a little bit, Gothenburg is not so awesome the last half year, so if you know people in Gothenburg, if you have companies, have departments that just pitch them and say them, hey, there is a user group in Gothenburg also that can also do awesome events, because they need speakers. And that's, I started this year, but somebody noticed, to add this little quiz for the JetBrains license, and we still have one to raffle out. So today I used this one. I found this in my C++ config header. And I thought, hey, what's this? That hosted. What's happened when I undefine? Yeah?
Detecting if you're compiling for freestanding or not.
Yeah, congratulations, you're winning. That's true. It's the freestanding. So for those people that don't know, if you're very embedded and you want just the super smallest subset of headers that are, then you define this freestanding, and then you can make embedded independent stuff. But the interesting thing why I place this actually here is C++26 will get a lot of these feature test macros for 26. Then you can ask, and this will help you to be a little bit more flexible if you use it. And that's already my opening stuff, so we will now switch notebook and microphone. Then we will have Hans talking about internals for the switch statement in LLVM. Then we will have the mingle part, as mentioned, outside for 1 hour, or as long as we have fun. And then we will have the Sebastian, which I'm looking very much forward to, passive ARM assembly skills for debugging optimization. And you will talk about, yeah, exactly, the ARM, we have it in the title. Cool, okay, that's from me. Thank you for attending with this weather. Awesome. Thanks.